Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's continue our game of Napoleon Maiden Episode 1. Maiden without the word impossible, running on Nintendo Switch.
もちろん、あなたと翔一くんの仲睦まじい姿を見に来たに決まってるじゃない。そういうのはもういいのよ。はいはい。朝から悪いけど、イギリス周りの雲行きが怪しいわ。
Murat's serious tone and its contents sharpened Napoleon's face.
大陸封鎖令の関係よ。
The Berlin Decree is, in essence, an order to contain the British economy. France continues to win the war and is now in the European champion. By letting Britain, which has abundant economic power during the Industrial Revolution, trade with France, France planned to control Europe's economy.
大陸封鎖令を破る国でも出てきたのかしら。ご名答、ロシアよ。そう。
Napoleon melancholy drank the tea. Russia. I looked down on the half-eaten bread. Napoleon loses his centripetal force in the wake of the failure of this Russian expedition. It is the end of the glory of France, and it is the beginning of Napoleon's defeat.
出すのか。
当たり前でしょ。
Napoleon, who is not a god, does not know that, and does not break her bullish attitude.
フランスは欧州を支配して永続的な平和をもたらすの。足並みを揃えない国には断固とした処置を取るわ。
Why don't you think again? That word was about to come out of my throat. But this is not just France in the past. There are many differences from the official history, and there is a possibility that the Russian expedition will be successful. On the other hand, if I give bad advice and put Napoleon in a pinch, I can't regret it. And it's another story if Napoleon, who is on my way, will listen to me by telling her about the future. After all, she has decided to pave the way for herself. After thinking a lot, I closed my mouth. I don't know how she captured my expression, but Napoleon smiles bitterly.
何を心配しているの？世は天下のナポレオン・ボナパルトよ。こたびの遠征も必ず勝利を収めてみせるわ。
そうだな。
Nodding vaguely, I resumed eating to escape. Murat's bright voice echoes there, which divides the atmosphere of the place.
ところでお二人さん、お世継ぎはできそうかしら。
Napoleon and I spit tea more than before. Napoleon Bonaparte glared at Murat, wiping her mouth.
なんなのよ、唐突に。
あんなのいる前でそんな話題。
Without looking back at us all protesting, Anna is carrying the soup in her mouth.
アンナ、知ってますよ。
ね？
赤ちゃんはコウナパミさんが運んでくるのですよね。
Eh? Is it the same in France?
そうよ。よく知ってるわね。嘘です。いわゆる夫婦の夜の営みでできるのです。アンナ？
Napoleon makes her face pale. I couldn't even say a word. Huh, are French children so advanced, or is it just Anna?
で、どうなの？お世継ぎはできそうなの？
Murat leans over to the table and asks. Napoleon slammed the cup.
できるわけないでしょ。あらあら、毎晩共にしているのに翔一くんも解消なしね。
いやいや、手を出したら殺されますから。
ということは手を出すつもりではあるってことです。
アンナ！
I scream at Anna, who makes a bomb statement. Murat sighed deeply.
皇帝は世襲制よ。
現体制を維持するためにもとっととやっちゃってよね。
いいこと。
After that, Napoleon was teased and she replied to Marat. That's what happened. The noisy breakfast time goes by in a blink of an eye.
ごちそうさま。さ、仕事よ、正一。ぐずぐずしてないで、早く来なさいよね。
Napoleon angered her shoulders and left her room, deliberately slamming her footsteps. Marat gives up on her shoulders.
まったく、いつまでもあんなうぶな女の子で皇帝が務まるのかしら。
ミュラさんがあけすけすぎます。
それぐらい葉っぱかけないとでしょ。
Marat smiles and tilts her cup of tea with a cool smile. But by the time she puts down her cup, her expression had changed to something serious.
今度のロシア遠征は困難を極めるかもしれないわ。
え？
Does Marat have any idea? The tone is as I had foreseen the official history that I know.
敵の司令官は余命者。赤眼将軍ミハイル・クトゥーゾフという女よ。老快な戦術で知られた名将なの。
そうなんですか？
もちろん同じ余命者である私が指揮を取るけれど、今回ばかりは正直どうなるかわからないわね。
ナポレオンがいれば違うんでしょうか？
そうね。あの子のアポカリプスの力さえあれば勝利はたやすい。
けど、それではネルソンにパリを襲撃されます。
Yes, that's even what young Anna knows. Napoleon has been nailed to Paris by Nelson, so she can't participate in the war. I'm sure she's going to Russia this time, and she must be disappointed in her heart.
ねえ、正一君。
Marat turned to me.
私がいない間、ナポレオンを支えてあげてね。仲間として、友人として、唯一の伴侶として。
ミュラさん。
Her tone didn't have the joke color she had earlier. Marat just has gentle eyes.
ミュラさんも気をつけて行ってきてください。ナポレオンにとってあなたは欠かせない人だから。
もちろんよ。任せておいて。
Anna glances up. Her gaze on her stared at Marat. When she noticed it, Marat hurriedly added,
もちろんアンナもよ。ナポレオンと正一君をお願いね。
わかりました。
In a flat voice as usual, Anna said. Then I started drinking soup again. Then the French army began to advance to Russia. The French army is a large offensive of 600,000 people, including the armies of allies. From everyone's eyes, you would have expected an overwhelming victory. However, the enemy general, Mikhail, was cunning. She takes advantage of Russia's vast territory, avoiding battles and retreating. She set out to burn off the supplies and food that the French troops were supposed to requisition, never replenish the enemy, and exhaust them. According to the strategy, the exhausted French troops will march to Moscow with a single hope. The war situation reached Paris one by one to Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon's expression as she entered her bedroom was steep. I was resting before she came, but I can't even talk to her. It's been like this these days. Of course, the cause is that the Russian expedition was not successful. When Napoleon noticed my gaze, she smiled faintly.
先に寝ていてもよかったのに。
なあ。
Passing in front of me with an ambiguous reply, Napoleon exits her bedroom to terrace. The appearance of Napoleon in the night breeze was as ephemeral and beautiful as it was when I saw it someday. I also go to the terrace to chase her. The night sky did not change, and it was brilliantly colored by the brilliance of the moon and stars.
モスクワはこんな風に晴れてはいないでしょうね。
Napoleon muttered in a faint voice.
太陽も見えない寒空の下、 兵士たちは苦戦を強いられている。私は何もできない。
ナポレオン。
Napoleon's hand, holding the railing, stayed strong until her fingertips turned white. I squeezed my courage and put my hand on her hand.
正一？
I didn't say anything and waited for Napoleon's words. Napoleon's tense expression collapses in a blink of an eye.
お前はきっと私の未来を知っているのね。
それは。
分かっている。何度も言ったでしょ。聞かないわ。それを告げることはお前にとっても酷なことだろうから。
I opened my eyes unintentionally. Napoleon, did she understand my feelings even at such times?
決めたの。これからの道なき道は自分で行くと決めたのよ。でも
Napoleon quietly closed her eyes. Her long eyelashes are quivering.
ダメなの。やっぱり怖いの。どうしても未来への恐怖が拭い去れないの。
That is, I'm sure. It was Napoleon's whine that I heard for the first time. A girl's words swaying between determination and fear. I quietly listened to her words.
私は天命にも力にも仲間にも恵まれたわ。そして正一、お前が来てから私の周囲はますます賑やかになった。ミュラがいて、アンナがいて、あなたがいて、それだけで私は幸せ。でも現実は、神は安寧を許してくれない。
A tear runs down Napoleon's smooth cheeks, the jewel-like tears that shine pale in the moonlight.
きっと皇帝ナポレオンは今が絶頂期。いいえ、もう転落に向かっているのかもしれない。権力を失った私に残されるものには何？
Her solitude continues.
きっと何も残らない。それが怖いの。
Napoleon's tear-soaked voice melts and disappears in the wind soaring into the night sky. I pulled Napoleon's hand and gently hugged her. Napoleon flutters in my arms. I was prepared to be pushed by her, but Napoleon was being quiet in my arms.
俺がいるよ。ジュリア。
I dare to call her a real name. Yes, this is just one word for a girl who is in fear in front of me, not for the hero Napoleon Bonaparte.
約束する。この先、どんなことがあっても俺だけは、ジュリアのそばを離れたりしない。
正一、どうして？
もちろん。
I squeeze all my courage and tell her.
君のことが好きだから。
Napoleon in my arms. I mean, Julia trembles a little. Was she surprised? I may have been disliked. But if she's afraid of her future to lose, at least I wanted to tell her that I had her feelings for her that would never be lost.
強くて、気高くて、可愛らしくて、優しい。君のことが好きだ。
There was no reaction. I was still good. It wasn't the word I told her for her answer. Julia moaned, her voice. Her thin arms wrap around my back. Julia clung to me and screamed. I combed Julia's hair with my fingers. I hugged her, crying like a child. How long has it passed? The moon, which is a little higher than when it appeared on the terrace, illuminates Julia's crying and swollen face. Julia was looking badly at her toes.
取り乱して悪かったわ。
いいんだ。君を支えるのが俺の役目だからな。
小一って出会った頃よりも少し変わったわね。
そうか？
ええ。なんというか頼りがいい。
Julia shook her head and she slammed back into her bedroom. I chased her back like a loyal pet dog and closed the glass door of terrace. The moonlight is shining through the window. The dark room is sinking blue at the bottom of the sea. Julia slowly sat down on the bed. May she sleep well. I pray for that, and I try to lie on the couch as usual. Then a slightly angry voice flew.
今日はベッドで寝てもいいわよ。
I was told something unexpected, and I blinked.
じゃあ、ジュリアがソファーで寝るのか？でもここのところ、また執務が忙しいだろう。ベッドでゆっくり休んだ方がいいんじゃないか？
Julia has her lips sharpened. Huh? Did I say something to offend her? Julia banged her bed as I tilted my head.
二人ともここで寝ればいいでしょ。
え？
だから一緒に寝ればいいと言ってるの。
At first, my brain didn't accept Julia's words. However, I gradually understood the meaning and felt that my cheeks turned red. No, calm down. Julia may not have said that in that sense. No, it shouldn't be.
それはあまりにも危ないというか。
危ないって何がよ。
だから君の身が。
No, I can't beat Julia by force, so the danger is...
じゃなくて、俺の理性が持たない。まだ死にたくない。
She probably remembered me telling that if I did something to her, she would kill me. Julia turned her eyebrows as if in trouble.
そうとは限らないじゃないの。
それってどういう。
もういいからこっちに来なさい。
Screaming and getting up from her bed, Julia pulled me, who was sitting on a couch, and made me stand up.
おい。
She ignores my dismayed intentions and she drags me into the bed. When I sit in the bed next to her, the scent of her Julia drifts. When I hugged her a while ago, I was so desperate that I didn't notice. This is not a perfume. Julia, who loves cleanliness, always takes a bath so she doesn't sprinkle perfume. Her own scent, scented from her hole. The scent that slips through her nose and soaks into her head and seduces a man, at least enough to seduce me who has feelings for her. Julia, who couldn't stand me while I was silent.
小一。
Leaned against me and hugged me. I hurriedly catched her body. But remembering the fact that it was on the bed, my face quickly turned pale.
そんなことされると、ますます俺の理性が危ういというか。
別にいいわよ。
Julia raised her face and she surely glared at me.
何度も言わせないで。いいと言っているのよ。
The originally fresh pink cheeks are dyed in apple color. The ears and neck are bright red. No way, I didn't think that Julia would say that, and I opened my mouth like a fool. Is it okay? Is it okay? Is it all right? I have no experience of romance, so I have no idea what to do in such a case. However, I remember Julia, who looked depressed and suddenly stopped.
ダメだ。
なんでよ。
In a hurry, I rushed to Julia, who was in tears.
そうじゃないんだ。君は今弱気になってる。そんな君の心の隙につけ入るような真似できない。
Julia then snapped her big eyes. And she smiles at me.
何よそれ。お前というやつはバカみたいに生真面目ね。
なんだよそれ。俺は真剣に。
分かってるわ。私のためを思ってくれているのね。
Julia says, shy like but a little happy. I was fascinated by her lovely expression.
でも勘違いしているわ、翔一。私が一時の感情でこんな行動をとると思う？
それって
思っているのは翔一だけじゃないわ。
Julia smiled softly with a glowing drop in her eyes.
私もずっとあなたのことを思っていた。
I inadvertently pulled Julia and hugged her. Then when I hugged on the terrace, more and more stronger.
さっきの言葉嬉しかった。信じていいのよね、翔一。
もちろんだ。君が好きだ。ずっとそばにいる。そばにいたいんだ。
We stared at each other and naturally brought our faces closer to each other. The fluffy scent becomes even stronger, and at the same time, the sensation of being patted by soft feathers spreads on the lips. A kiss just a touch. As I slowly lifted my lips, Julia's adorable expression with a shy smile spread out in front of me. I also can't hide my shyness and smile awkwardly.
結婚式以来だな。
そうね。でもあの時とは違うわ。
That was exactly what Julia said. It was a ceremonial kiss at that time, but tonight's kiss is different. It's a genuine vow with feelings.
ジュリア。
I feel her love for her and hug her again. That was the next moment. A tremor shook the entire palace.
なんだ？
Not only the tents on the beds and the chandeliers on the ceiling, but the entire room makes a creaking noise. I inadvertently tried to cover Julia, but Julia slipped out of my arm and got up from her bed.
エルさんか。
Julia whispers bitterly when she returns to the face of Napoleon Bonaparte. When I stood up in a hurry, I went to the outside terrace. The building visible from the palace has been destroyed and is emitting black smoke.
ルーブル宮殿が。
I tell Napoleon Bonaparte in the room. She had already turned around and was about to leave her bedroom.
ナポレオン。
出撃するわ。お前はここにいなさい。
I couldn't run right away. At first, when she faced Nelson, I remember getting in the way of Napoleon. But
決めたんだ。そばにいるって。
at that time, like when I defended Napoleon at the end, like when Nelson was attracted to me, I might be able to do something a little. So I also followed Napoleon Bonaparte. I run through a dimly lit corridor illuminated only by evenly spaced candlesticks. I can't see Napoleon's back. Perhaps he has already rushed to the scene with some power of the depositor. However, there was a figure just around the corner of the corridor. I thought I had caught up and smiled.
ナポレオン。
When I reached out, there was an unexpected person.
あら、翔一くん。
There was Joaquin Murat, who was supposed to be in command of the Russian expedition.
ミュラさん、どうしてパリに？いつ戻って？
No, I don't need to ask that now. Murat must also heard this rumbling.
それよりも大変です。ネルソンがまたパリに。
ええ、知っているわ。
Murat smiled as usual.
だって私が呼んだんだもの。
Huh? The inside of my head becomes blank for a moment. In the darkness, I desperately squint, but Murat doesn't seem to be joking. But I just couldn't believe it and had a dry laugh.
何を言ってるんですか。こんな時にパリがナポレオンが大変なんです。早く火星を。
せっかくお招きしたお客様にそんな無礼を働くことなんてできないわ。
I kept silent. Mara was serious. She's serious and she's saying that. Mara smiled at me, who couldn't say anything.
いくらネルソンが余命者だからってラ・マンシュ海峡を無傷で渡ってこれると思う？
The La Mancha Strait is the sea between England and France. The name of the Strait of Dover would be better known.
私が海軍の情報を流しているのよ。イギリス側にネルソンにね。
Right, hold on just a minute. Okay, sorry about that.
そんな。
ナポレオン暗殺を根回ししたのも今ロシア遠征を失敗に導こうとしているのも全部。
I was screaming to slam her when I noticed her betrayal, which was confessed by her one after another.
あんたは言ったじゃないか、俺にナポレオンを頼むって。なのにどうしてそんなことを。
Then, Ross stuck her icy, cruel smile on her face.
だって私この世界をめちゃくちゃにしたいんだもの。
は？
I don't understand what she's saying. I can't hide my fear of mysterious things, and I draw my expression. Ross saw me like that and laughed more and more happily.
翔一君にはわからないでしょうね。もしかしたら死ぬまで知ることはないのかも。かわいそうで滑稽で、なんて愛おしい。
ミュラ、あんたは
狂ってるのかってどうかしらね。少なくとも自分では冷静なつもりなのだけど、でも強靭にそれを知る術はないものね。
Mara approaches me one step at a time. I put a lot of effort into my knees so that I would never retreat.
そんなに怖がらないで。これはただの実験なのよ。通算998回目の実験。ジュリアに最大の絶望を与えてみる。ただそれだけよ。
お前は一体何を言ってるんだ。
ことはとても守備よく運んだわ。正一君はジュリアにとって唯一無二の存在となった。
Marat doesn't answer my questions at all. I'm just intoxicated with my words.
せっかくベッドの上にいたのだから押し倒してしまえばよかったのに。
Why do you know that?
見てたもの。ずっ
それはミラの余命者としての能力なのか。
見てたもの。ずっとね。余命者ね。そういうことにしておきましょうか。
As soon as the story is over, Marat takes action.
ともかくここであなたを奪ってしまえばジュリアは絶望の底に叩きつけられる。そこから運命はどうなるのかしらね。
ジュリアに何の恨みがあってそんなこと。
待って誤解よ。恨みなんかないわ。言ったでしょ、実験だって。
I can't understand the story at all. After all, she is crazy. Can't I meet Marat, who was kind anymore? Did she look like this from the beginning?
さあ始めましょう。
Marat took out a dull, glowing knife from her bosom.
絶望の幕開けよ。
Marat sprints through a dimly lit corridor at an unexpected speed. Before I can do anything, the knife was sucked into my belly in no time. A groan of pain that doesn't seem to belong to me. Hot. Hot, hot. The bottom of my belly seems to be boiling. Hold on a minute. Tea's done. Okay, I guess I couldn't have seen this one coming. Marat betraying us. As soon as the knife was pulled out, my body fell to the floor. I feel my body temperature drop steadily. The feeling that life itself flows out of my body. Marat said so and disappeared into the back of the corridor. Oh, hey Frank, yeah. It's good art, but the translation is absolutely terrible. I'm stuck on the cold marble floor and I can't move. Oh, will I die like this? What about Napoleon? The battle with Nelson is the future. I can't make her lonely. I swore that I wouldn't leave her alone. I have to do something about it. Though I think so, my body and head don't move at all. It was then that a sighing voice leaked. Someone approaches with a light footstep. For a moment I wondered if Mara had returned to stab the end, and my spine froze. However, a warm light wrapped my body. Oh, is it Anna?
Shoichi?
I schooled my quivering body and managed to raise my face. There was Anna, who was about to start crying.
喋ってはダメ。動かないで。
Anna, who always kept her expression, turned her face pale. She must have given her the magic of healing. Her pain subsides and she feels drowsy.
ごめんなさい。翔一、痛い思いをさせて。アンナはあの人に表だって逆らえない。止められなかったのです。
そうか。アンナ、お前はミュラに脅されていたのか。
Anna doesn't answer, and she is trying to treat me. After a while, the pain was completely gone. I managed to get up. Anna stopped.
待ってください、翔一。傷を塞いだだけで失った血は戻っていません。動いてはダメです。
悪いな、アンナ。でも俺には行かなきゃいけないところがあるんだ。
ジュリアのところに行ってはいけない。それこそミュラの思うツボです。
それでも
I stood up and started to move. Immediately, my stomach started to hurt again. I started walking while holding my belly with my arms, trying to prevent the wound from opening.
行かなきゃ。ジュリアを一人にはできない。
翔一。
Anna didn't say anything anymore. I walked down the wall of the corridor and followed the steps of the Coachella. Of the Cochlea. Yeah. Cochlea? Yeah. I thought that was part of an eye. Oh, anyway. I was walking in the streets of Paris, whipping my body that didn't move well. Occasionally the ground shakes a lot. At the same time, the night sky shined brightly.
Napoleon.
She is fighting Nelson and Napoleon. As I walked down the walls of the stone building, I finally reached that square. After all, there were two girls who collided with each other.
放て、ミトライユーズ。届かないよ、そんなの。私のフリゲートには。
At the same time that Napoleon's Milotrus fired, Nelson's frigate also fired cannons. Force and power collide. The shock shook the city of Paris. I couldn't stand and fell into the spot.
翔一。
Napoleon notices me. However, Nelson's attack was so intense that she didn't seem to be able to come here. It was convenient for me because... I look at the hand holding my belly. There was sticky red blood on my palm. Blood is drawn from my head, but I can't stop. The voice of a bright girl came down to me, who stood up again.
あれ、お兄ちゃんじゃない。私に会いに来てくれたんだね。
Wait, when did she get tentacles? What? Floating in the air, Nelson mercilessly attacks Napoleon with her frigate, stretching her octopus legs towards me. No, it's inevitable. I tried to escape, but my torso was easily entwined by her octopus legs.
翔一。
Napoleon screams. Tightly tied to her octopus legs, I was taken straight to Nelson. Nelson's full smile spreads in front of me with an anguished expression.
また会えて嬉しいな。あれ？お兄ちゃん、もしかして怪我してるの？なんですって？
Napoleon Bonaparte, who was about to run up to me, and Nelson glanced at me. Because I'm tightened up, my wounds open further. Excuse me. The white shirt is dyed red. Is dyed bright red. The white shirt is dyed bright red, and the blood that the fabric couldn't absorb runs down Nelson's octopus legs and eventually drips onto the ground. She probably saw it. Napoleon shouted in awe. Nelson is staring at me as if she couldn't hear the words.
お兄ちゃん死んじゃうの？
With my bloodless head, I can't answer that question. I wonder what will happen to me. Will I die as it is?
そう死んじゃうの？
Nelson muttered lonely and then erased her expression. There was a horrifyingly cold look on her face.
じゃあもういらない。
Nelson let me go just as she throws trash. A feeling of floating for a moment, and an unpleasant feeling of falling, as if the internal organs were scooped up. My outstretched hand can't reach the distant night sky. I was about to be hit on the ground while being sent off by Nelson's cold gaze.
グランドアルム。
Napoleon's voice echoes. Dozens of soldiers catch me as I was about to be slammed into the ground. I couldn't believe I was saved, and I was stunned.
翔一。
Napoleon's relieved voice called my name, and I suddenly returned to myself. The soldiers are the guardians of Napoleon. The fact that she sent them to me means... Floating in the night sky, Nelson was laughing terribly. It's as if she was waiting for the chance.
終わりだよお姉ちゃん。
Napoleon hurriedly raises her face. She seems to have noticed her missteps, but it's too late.
フリゲート一斉戦車。
The frigate fleet drops cannons on the ground in the rain.
リトライユーズ。
Napoleon quickly counterattacks, but not all Nelson's cannons are shot down. The scenery from there, everything looked like slow motion. A shell heads for Napoleon. A solid dark lump of iron which can swallow Napoleon's delicate body. It's about to hit her right now. I shouted crazy. Her real name. And... Uh-oh. Do I have a power? I haven't had a power all through the game. It's too quiet. I can't hear anything, as if my ears were plugged. Curiously, the pain in my abdomen was subsided. On the contrary, a warm, fluffy warmth wraps me around, as if I was blessed with a blanket on a cold winter night. I'm terribly sleepy. The sound of hitting my consciousness from a distance as I lost my sleep and tried to close my eyelids. Someone's voice.
翔一。
I'm familiar with it. It's a voice that has been around for a while. When I listened to it, various emotions came back to life. Cheeky, tall, but gentle and cute. And adorable.
翔一。翔一。
The voice is wet with tears. A line of sorrow struck my chest, which continued to beat weakly. Don't cry. Don't cry, my love.
ジュリア。
翔一。
It was Paris at night, where we were. Black smoke is rising from here and there. Drops fell on my cheeks. I wondered if it rained with grace, but it wasn't. Julia was crying. I had a faint smile on my face.
無事だったんだな。
バカ。私が無事でも翔一がこんなことに。
Beyond that is her sobbing and she can't speak. Apparently, I managed to protect Julia. And I myself seem to have been seriously injured. There's no pain for that. It is neither hot nor cold. I don't feel anything. Somehow I understand. I'm sure this is...
助かりそうよ。
なんか言わないで。何見せなきゃ。
I coughed up trying to reach out to Julia, who was upset. A taste of bitter iron spreads in the mouth.
ジュリア。
一が隙を作ってくれたから。
そうか。よかった。俺も最後の最後に役に立てる。
最後なんて言わないで。
ジュリア。
Julia shook her head from side to side, as if the child didn't like it, every time her transparent drop hits my cheek.
嫌よ。絶対に嫌。一緒にいてくれるって言ったじゃない。
My heart hurts. I broke my most important promise. But still,
君を守りたかった。
I reach out to her slowly, wetly wipe her tears that wet Julia's cheek with my fingers.
俺さ、いつか君のような子に会うのが夢だった。自分が命を懸けて守れるような。はい、
翔一、もう喋らないで。
いいんだ、ジュリア。俺は。
I should probably tell her Murat is a traitor. I have no regrets. She taught me how wonderful it is to love people. To me, who had a mediocre life and who had never had any thoughts with anyone. However, it was the only regret that I left you behind.
翔一、嫌だよ。置いてかないで。私を一人にしないで。
The front of my eyes is dark and closed. I can't even see Julia's face anymore. I whispered, relying only on the warmth that was faintly transmitted to my body.
ありがとう、ジュリア。
At the end, I felt that Julia made a sad voice. After that, my consciousness was dark and deeply closed. Peep. I frowned at the loud alarm sound. The still chilly spring air is spreading out of my bed. I groped for my smartphone while sneaking into the futon. Finally, I found my smartphone and dragged it into the futon. I turned off the alarm and I finally got the right to sleep again. When I was about to fall asleep again, my smartphone... It trembles vigorously. Oh, I'm back in my own world. What? While complaining, I looked at the shining display. At the name Riku Kubata emerged there. There was no choice but to answer the call.
はーい、もしもし。
おい、さきか。お前まだ寝てんのか。今日は1時間目から歴史の小寺っつってんだろ。
I bounced off Kubata's voice.
そうだった。悪い。
俺は先に行ってんぞ。早く来いよな。
わかった。
I jumped out of bed, thanking my childhood friend for contacting me.
あれ。
At that moment, I suddenly felt dizzy. I involuntarily hold down my flank.
あれ。
I didn't know why I did that. It doesn't hurt or anything. What was even more mysterious was...
涙が。
A drop of tears ran down my cheeks from the corners of my eyes.
なんだ俺、情緒不安定か？
Or did I yawn unknowingly?
って、んなこと言ってる場合じゃねえ。
I hurriedly take off my pajamas and change into my uniform. I had a dream about history, huh? I don't think I've ever dreamed about any subjects in my class ever. I left the room, leaving all my doubts behind. Oh, that's it, really? Okay, well, there you go. That was Napoleon Maiden, episode 1, running on Nintendo Switch. Yeah, boy, this is not translated well. So it can be kind of hard to read. So you have to get used to sort of the broken English, more than just broken English, just bad English, frankly. in order to kind of get the gist of the story. But I think you can work through it if you just pay attention to what's being said. I do kind of like the story, as broken as it is. It's nice that that all the characters are voiced, including your character. The only things I really had to read aloud were, like the thoughts and the descriptions. All the artwork's really cool. Again, it's not a very high-priced visual novel. I'm actually kind of surprised that it comes in at such a low price, considering there is voice acting, and it's using an E-mote engine, so there's actually some animation on the lips and things. I certainly paid more for visual novels that had less features than this. It's interesting that they went with the it's all a dream approach. I thought for sure there'd be something a little bit more isekai about it, or we're actually stuck there. But I think it's worth. I certainly think it's worth reading. It'll be interesting to see when more parts come out. I don't know. In fact, I don't think there are more episodes yet, even on the PC, unless or at least anything that's been translated. Let's see here, actually. Because I think there's just episode 1. Yeah, and nobody else has reviewed this product, so guess it hasn't caught on. This does remind me of like some of the other manga out there that take the different approaches to history and sort of weave them into something more anime-like. I'm thinking of like Nobunaga from a few years back. I think there was one that was. Nobunaga is the one that really sticks out to me, where they changed Nobunaga into in kind of like this warship battle with mechs and stuff, which I thought was pretty good. In fact, I think that might be a visual novel, so I might have to check that one out. Again, I'm surprised that they're using this this E-mote engine from M2 that's available. The engine overall is Unity, but the emotes are from the M2 plugin. So cool stuff. I don't know if I could just suggest this to everyone since the translation is so rough. But I think if you're kind of a fan of history anyway, then the idea of retelling history and maybe something that's a little bit more interesting to a modern audience might be good. Okay, so we have some scenes we can pick as we hit the end of the game. Not too much CG. You can replay scenes, it looks like. And then the music, which I think is actually pretty good. I mean, it's sort of generic-ish, but not too bad, really. Nothing I'd probably listen to outside of the game, but interesting nonetheless. So there you go, Napoleon Maiden, Episode 1, A Maiden Without the Word Impossible, running on Nintendo Switch. I hope you liked it. It was weird, a strange journey, and one that wasn't translated well, but a lot of fun. I think my next visual novel we're going to finish up is it's probably Caffeine. We kind of left that off in the middle of that, and then I don't know. I'll have to look at maybe Chaos. Maybe Chaos Child, since we just finished Chaos Head. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I will see you at the next stream.